All right, let's just jump right into it. We're all trying to juggle, well, everything, right? You've got your job, you're trying to learn new things, stay healthy, be there for your family, and maybe, just maybe, get a minute to yourself. It feels impossible sometimes. But what if the answer isn't about trying harder, but thinking in a totally different way? Today, we're going to talk about how to build systems to finally get a handle on it all and actually reach your goals. Does this sound familiar? You are busy all the time. Your calendar is a nightmare. But at the end of the week, you look back and think, what did I actually do? You feel like you're running at full speed, but you're not getting any closer to the things that really matter to you. It is such a frustrating feeling, and it's so common. And this is the big takeaway right up front. If you're feeling stuck, it is not because you're lazy. It's not because you're not putting in the effort. The problem is the method. Trying to rely on pure willpower and these super rigid plans, it's just a recipe for burnout. The real secret is to change the approach itself. Okay, so first, let's break down why the standard way of doing things, the way most of us think about setting goals, just completely falls apart in the real world. You know how it goes. It always starts with a great intention, right? I'm going to exercise more, or I'm going to finish that online course. So you make this perfect plan. But then what happens on day 3 when you get home from work and you are just completely drained? That plan, which was depending on you feeling great and motivated, just crumbles. And you're left feeling bad about yourself again. So if these grand plans and good intentions aren't the answer, then what is? Well, this is where we make a huge shift in our thinking, from relying on willpower to building intelligent systems. And this quote from Justin Sung just nails it. The whole point is to create processes that kind of run on their own, that get you the results you want without you having to feel motivated all the time. Because let's be honest, motivation comes and goes. A good system, that's reliable. And just look at the difference here. The old willpower approach is so fragile. It shatters the second you have a bad day. But a systems approach, it's the opposite. It is built for your worst day. It assumes you're going to be tired. It assumes you won't be motivated. And that right there is how you create real, lasting progress. All right, let's get practical. How do you actually build this core engine for yourself? It really boils down to 2 key principles to get you started. First, you have to think holistically. This means you go in expecting your plan to fail. You actively look for all the reasons it might go wrong. You anticipate being tired, you anticipate interruptions. Second, you build for repeatability. This means your process has to be so easy, so low friction, that you can do it even on that worst day we talked about. If it needs a huge surge of energy to get started, it's not a good system. Let's make this real. Let's take a look at an accountant who's working a crazy full-time job and also trying to study for a massive professional exam. So his first plan was to study after work. Total failure. He was just wiped out. But instead of just trying harder, he asked a better question. How do I solve the tired problem? So he iterated. He tried staying late at the office to study before the commute. Better. But that created a new obstacle. Now family dinner was way too late. And the key is he didn't give up. He's treating it like a puzzle. He just keeps iterating, tweaking things. Maybe the family can adjust. Maybe he tries studying in the morning until he finds the combination that finally clicks. And that is the huge mindset shift. Your job is not to come up with a perfect plan and execute it flawlessly. No, your job is to be a detective, to keep searching for that unique combination of things that works for your life. Just because the first 10 ideas don't work doesn't mean a solution isn't out there. Okay, so once you have a system that's kind of working, there's one more really crucial step to make sure it lasts. This is all about peeling off the Band-Aids. So what do we mean by a Band-Aid? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a quick, temporary fix. It gets you through the day for sure, but it doesn't do anything about the real underlying problem. They're useful, but they're not the final answer. And here are some classic examples we all use. You feel tired, so you take a nap to focus. That's a Band-Aid. The real problem might be that your overall sleep quality is terrible. Or you use a timer to force yourself to focus. Another Band-Aid. The underlying issue could be a low attention span that actually needs to be trained. These little fixes are helpful, but they make your whole system fragile. I mean, what happens when you don't have time for that nap? Your system breaks. So here's the game plan. You use these Band-Aids to get by for now, but at the same time, you start building a new system in the background to solve the root problem. So your new goal becomes, okay, I need to fix my sleep habits, or I need to train my attention span. And you plug that new intention right back into that iterative problem-solving process we just talked about. Ultimately, this whole thing is way more than just a productivity trick. It's a really fundamental change in how you think about your goals and, honestly, your life. When you start to build a real solution, like actually changing your whole evening routine to get to bed earlier, it's going to feel weird at first. It's uncomfortable. But that discomfort, that's actually a good sign. It means you're breaking old automatic patterns. It's a sign of real growth, not a reason to stop. And look, if this all sounds like a lot of work, just remember this quote. The stress, the anxiety, the frustration of failing over and over again, that takes a ton of effort too. This is about taking that exact same amount of energy and just pointing it in a smarter direction, towards building a real solution instead of just banging your head against the same wall. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. Yeah, designing a new system takes some effort up front, but is that temporary discomfort really worse than the constant, grinding stress of staying stuck on that hamster wheel year after year? Because building a system, that's what gives you the freedom to finally get off.